Hey, welcome back to another edition of Face Brew Review. My name's Alex. I'll be walking you guys and gals through this review for the next few minutes here today. We're going to Bend, Oregon, Descutes Brewery, and we're looking at their latest release, which is Fresh Haze. This is a very interesting take on fresh squeeze. This is the haze craze here, New England style IPA from those guys. I was wondering when they were going to jump on it. They've kind of been the last of the major Northwest breweries to jump on this train. So interested to try it out and see what it offers. Deschutes makes some awesome offerings. They make really good barrel-aged stouts and some real solid pale ales along with some other sessionable stuff. So always been a fan of Deschutes, independent brewer down there in Bend, and excited to be joining you guys and gals like always reviewing this beer. So let's jump into the specs of it. 6.5% alcohol by volume, low IBU content here, 45. In regards to the hop profile, they're using Mandarina, Amarillo, and Simcoe. From what I read on their website, they didn't have the complete description. Usually do the malt bill and the full hops. It was just a couple of hops listed out in the commercial description. You can go to DescutesBrewery.com to check that out. And then in regards to the accolades of this beer, some solid stuff for the most part. Beer Advocate giving it 3.94 out of 5. And then from the folks over on Untappd, 3.83 out of 5 caps from about 4,000 or so ratings. I believe this is a limited release offering, kind of a variation, like I was saying, on their fresh squeezed IPA, but a little more hazy in regards to the style. So without further ado, let's crack the cap on the Fresh Haze IPA from Deschutes. Best by date always from Deschutes, so 12, 22, 18, and I believe those go about 90 days out for IPAs and about 120 or so for stouts and their Black Butte Porter. So very, very fresh. Time of recording September 12th. So let's crack the cap on this bad boy. Deschutes is just a brewery that's just always been really solid in terms of their offering, good price point, and making some nice limited release stuff with the Abyss and the Descendant, or the Descendant, excuse me. But always been a fan. Black Butte Porter is always a staple in my fridge as well, any time of year. Red Chair as well, great seasonal spring offering there. So poured into a glass, does not look so hazy as we could see, kind of more of a hopped up, maybe a little bit of a chill haze like appearance there, but nice looking stuff in the glass. Aggressive carbonation string up from the bottom. This is a acidulated glass there, so it will accentuate that carbonation. About finger and a half worth of head there, really tightly compact at the bottom, but then getting very, very sudsy towards the top. Kind of a bone white, off-white color there. Kind of a lightish golden, light amberish color. Mild clarity to this one, but not a full-on New England juice bomb. True to the style, as they're calling it, but nice stuff. Let's get into a smell and aroma and see what it's all about. Nice. I get kind of like Valencia oranges, like a citronella type aroma, some orange zest, some fruity notes in there, maybe a kiss of like tropical fruit, whether it's pineapple or mango. There's something like that in there. A little bit of like a honey, kind of pastry malt sweetness to it. Not too complex, but smells very nice and delightful. Okay, well, without further ado, cheers, pros, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is Deschutes Fresh Haze, Bend, Oregon. Nice glass listing as we drink into that. Yeah, it's nice. Boy, I mean, we'll get into the taste and I'll tell you after. But up front, nice kind of like shortbready sweetness, honey sweetness to this one. Nothing overwhelming. I always kind of get a sweetness, an accentuated one from a lot of Deschutes malt bills, but it's not overpowering at all, because then as we transition to the middle of the mouth, the hops really come out Really following the nose. There's a host of orange, tangerine, mandarin to this one as well, and then you get a little pink grapefruit as we start to transition into like this herbal green tea bitterness towards the back end after those big like citrus fruit medley in the middle of the mouth. I do get some mango, like nectarine, pineapple maybe as well, the back end of those hops before we transition into that kind of like green tea, almost like spruce, chivy grass like element on the back end. Mild bitterness for this one. It's actually toned down 45 IBUs. I believe fresh squeeze, don't quote me on this, but I think it's around 60 or so, maybe 65 IBUs. I wouldn't say this is a direct core, they've named it Fresh Haze, but I don't know if it is so much of the same recipe to Descutes' Fresh Squeeze, as that's just kind of big, juicy. You get a lot of pineapple notes. I believe it's a lot of mosaic in that beer, and from the description I read here, there wasn't any mosaic to be found in this one, but that's a discussion for another day, and you can do research on that and leave that in the comment section below and let me know on that. But it's very solid. Getting into the mouthfeel, it's medium to light body. There's a nice prickly carbonation to this one. There's a nice dry bitterness as well on the back end, drying out that sweetness from the up front, kind of like honey, shortbread, pastry-like sweetness they're getting. No alcohol at all. Really easy drinking, really smooth, refreshing, solid beer. It doesn't drink like a New England style at all, like if you've had Green or Julius or something from Trillium or Hillstead Farms, whatever it may be. It's a West Coast IPA basically is what it is, and it reminds me of, and this is what I was going to say earlier, but it's a beer you've had before. It reminds me of something, it kind of reminds me almost a little bit of like Liquid Truth Serum IPA from Dogfish Head, which I believe kind of pops a little bit more, is maybe a little lighter, but it's it's something that you definitely had before if you're on the West Coast. You can think kind of like Bodhisattva from Georgetown in Seattle, or Fremont Lush. Anything that's kind of this newer wave of IPAs on the West Coast that's starting to get more kind of tropical fruit forward with like mild haze, but not a New England style IPA. Descutes kind of last of the party here with that. They've always made really traditional, approachable, easy drinking beers. And I think that's kind of like what they've gone with this one. This is a little bit of a dive off the deep end for them, but nothing that's crazy. But it's still a solid offering. So as for a grade for this one, I'm going to go right around 88. I think it's a B+ beer. It's a solid beer. I think if you have the opportunity to try it, do so. So 88 for me, but that's not what matters. It matters what you guys and gals think, but you can let me know by leaving it all in the comment section down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think of the Descutes Fresh Haze IPA? I say it every single time, and I mean it every single time. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for keeping this thing growing and tuning in and leaving your comments below. And until next time, cheers, Prost. We'll see you all again on Babyface Brew Review. Thank you so much for stopping by.